So am I trying to escape or am I trying to sever other people's threads?
She did, it was something that I decided to do, and I killed her in the back.
The brother was the only one who was concerned about this whole entire dynamic because he tried to go to the police and give them all the evidence that he...
The whole situation around David just flipped again, and this time it wasn't random fans talking, it was the actual crew who worked on his music videos stepping up and spilling what they saw. These are the same people who heard him talk about his alter ego, Tommy, and the moment he joked about having thoughts of harming Celeste in the back of his mind. Once they shared their side, people rushed back to all his old content with brand new eyes. And suddenly the behind-the-scenes clips, the unreleased track, the live show moments, everything started looking way more serious than before. Then those police leaks dropped, saying investigators think he didn't act alone and that he hasn't been helpful at all, even though his team keeps insisting he's innocent. None of it lines up, and her family openly said they knew she was connected to him. Plus, she was still popping out at family events like her cousin's graduation before everything went down. So now folks are wondering how anyone missed the signs. People are asking the same question they've been asking since day one. Is this finally building up to an arrest? The second that crew post hit the internet, people jumped straight back into the behind-the-scenes footage from the One More dance shoot, filmed months before Celeste disappeared. At first, it all looked like normal fun, but once the crew pointed out that comment he made about Tommy and having Celeste in the back of his mind, everybody started watching it with a whole different vibe.
In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true.
And the wildest part? The pressure isn't coming from online detectives this time. It's coming straight from the production team who stood beside him on set. And that makes everything feel way heavier. Now, it's the crew themselves saying the footage hits different, and they're the ones pointing out specific moments and wondering if they overlooked something the first time around. That's exactly why investigators and viewers are suddenly breaking everything down frame by frame. When the people behind the camera start asking questions, it changes how everybody else studies the material.
The story of the manga went like I was a detective, and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden, and he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the
Trying to escape or am I trying to sever other people's threads from Itami? Bro, I don't care about nobody else's threads, bro. I'm trying to get out, bro. Without me getting out of purgatory, without me escaping the red thread limbo, bro, I can't get back to what my purpose is.
And honestly, once you take a real look at what's in that footage, it makes perfect sense why folks are reacting the way they are. David is blindfolded, rocking a shirt splattered with red, and pulling something that looks way too close to a body bag while standing in the middle of the woods. Back then, people brushed it off as creative visuals. But with everything going on in Celeste's case, the vibe is completely different now. Even the crew said the project feels off when you view it through the lens of the investigation, and hearing that from people who filmed him up close definitely hits harder. What makes this whole thing even more intense is that this isn't the first time people felt something strange in his work. Way before Celeste's situation blew up, there was that unreleased song that went viral, the same one academics ended up talking about. At first, everybody thought that clip was fake or edited, just another internet rumor floating around. But once academics confirmed it was real, the whole vibe changed instantly.
That might be, right? Like, it's kind of almost like, bruv.
The footage showed David performing the song live back in 2023, long before any of this drama even existed, and the lyrics were seriously unsettling. People were calling the song eerie, and others said it sounded way too close to someone spilling their truth. The lines that keep getting reposted were, "I got time to kill, you got time, feel we got blood to spill all over the new car seats that I'm sleeping on." Even fans who used to defend him had no idea how to react to that. It wasn't coded, it wasn't symbolic. It sounded so direct that people started asking, wait, what was he even talking about here? Then things escalated even more once details from the police side started leaking out. A source told People that investigators believe David most likely had help handling the situation and disposing of evidence, and they also said he hasn't been cooperative at all. That pushed the conversation online into a whole new level of intensity. But here's where it got confusing. His team told NBC Los Angeles the exact opposite, claiming he was fully cooperating with authorities. That left everyone wondering why the two sides were giving completely different stories. Was somebody covering something up? Was someone trying to redirect the narrative? Or was the investigation starting to hit pieces of the story that didn't match up?
Her family knew that she was dealing with David. They knew how old he was. He would drop her off in that same Tesla that she was found in at her home after days.
And speaking of missing pieces, there's been non-stop speculation that people close to both David and Celeste already knew about their connection, and the conversation gets uncomfortable fast because of the age gap between them. Something folks have been dissecting for months now. Her brother, Matthew Riva, told NBC LA that the family did know she was connected to David, and then TMZ reported that her mother said Celeste was seeing someone named David at the time she went missing. That alone had people asking why no adults stepped in earlier, or why everything was kept so vague when the timeline never made sense in the first place. And then there's the part everyone keeps circling back to, the adults in David's circle. A lot of folks are saying his manager had to know way more than he's admitting, especially since he's the one who leased that Hollywood Hills mansion David was living in. That same house is where police hit with a search warrant. So naturally, people are wondering how much the manager handled day to day and what he really knew about who was coming and going. On top of all that, people noticed Celeste had been out in public shortly before everything happened. She even showed up at her cousin Marta's graduation. Her family knew she was alive, known, connected, social, out here moving around, and somehow all these adults and all these moving parts never lined up in a way that kept her safe. The part that's really shaking people now is how the story around David keeps getting messier every time someone new speaks up. After the crew came forward and the family confirmed the connection, folks started digging deeper into the people who were closest to David, the ones who were around him every day, the ones who saw things the rest of the world didn't. And suddenly, people online started saying the same thing. There's no way all these adults were in the dark. What really stirred things up was when clips resurfaced from old interviews and live streams where David would slip comments about his dark side, calling it Tommy and acting like it was some separate version of himself. Back then, people thought he was just being artistic or edgy, but now viewers are replaying those moments with real concern, wondering if they missed red flags right in front of them. Then, police leaks hinted that investigators think he didn't handle everything alone, that someone nearby might have helped after things spiraled. That sent the internet into a frenzy because now everyone is side-eyeing every person who worked with him, lived with him, or managed him. People started naming assistants, producers, friends, anyone who had access to that house, asking if they saw something and stayed quiet. And it's getting even heavier because people are now questioning how many warnings were overlooked, how many strange moments were brushed off, and how long this energy had been building before Celeste ever went missing. Every new detail is making the whole situation feel way more tangled than anyone thought. The moment the talk about possible help started spreading, the internet moved straight to one question: who else was involved? And that's when people began bringing up the folks who were always around David during those last months, especially the ones who handled his schedule, drove him places, managed his shoots, and basically controlled his whole day-to-day life. Suddenly, every blurry figure in old clips was getting replayed and slowed down like some kind of true crime breakdown. One name that kept popping up was his assistant, because people remember seeing him in the background during the One More Dance shoot, holding props, checking the monitor, and talking with David between takes. Nobody is accusing him outright, but viewers are wondering how someone that close could miss so many strange behaviors, especially when David was already dropping comments about Tommy and acting out darker scenes on camera. Folks are saying it feels too close, too convenient, too connected to ignore. Then there's the neighbor story that resurfaced, the one where someone claimed they heard loud dragging noises near the time Celeste went missing. Back then, people laughed it off, but now it's getting reposted everywhere because the timing matches too well. The neighbor said, "I just knew something wasn't right," and people can't stop quoting it because it hits different now with everything we know. Instead of giving answers, every new detail just brings in more questions, and now people feel like it's only a matter of time before someone in David's circle finally steps up and tells investigators what they really know. The pressure is getting intense, and everybody can feel it building. That's what everyone is watching for now. Because let's be real, the internet has been expecting an arrest ever since David's name was first connected to Celeste Rivas. Every leak, every clip, every tiny update just keeps pushing that conversation louder and louder across social feeds. Right now, the whole vibe online is that something major is coming, and a lot of people believe that the arrest everyone has been whispering about for months might be closer than anyone thought. People are tuned in heavy because this next move could finally reveal where this entire case is heading next. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next one, because this whole David situation is definitely not slowing down.